Hey, how's it going? I've had a very interesting and probably quite difficult week. Hiya, welcome back to Ira Gets It Together. My name is Ira, and on this channel we talk about how I am improving my life, whether that be getting fit, getting healthy, losing weight, quitting smoking, everything I'm doing to make my life better and longer. Right now we are currently focusing on my weight loss goals, and that is specifically with GLP-1 drugs. Today we are doing update number 25. It is my first update with Wegovy as well. So if that sounds like something you'd like to watch, please subscribe and stick around because I've got a lot to say this week. So a while back, there was a price increase on Mounjaro, and for a lot of people, it made Mounjaro not really affordable. For me, I probably could afford Mounjaro, but it would make life a lot more difficult. So I made the decision a couple of weeks ago to switch over to Wegovy, which is a lot more affordable, but it works in a different way. I paid, I think, £89 for 1 milligram of Wegovy because there was like switching bonuses and stuff like that. I use a company called Voy. There is a link in the description if you're interested in using them. I prefer them because they seem to prioritize your mental health. I think the coaches are really good. They really want to chat with you really often about how you're getting on. But anyway, that's not what today's video is about. I made the decision to go over to Wegovy. Last week I had my first jab of Wegovy, and we decided, like me and Voy decided, that 1 milligram would be best because that's the equivalent to 10 milligrams of Mounjaro, either 7.5 or 10 milligrams of Mounjaro. And you know what? Well, I know that Wegovy isn't as effective for me as Mounjaro is. I have definitely felt pangs of hunger like I haven't in months. I have definitely felt the need to, well, the want to binge, the want to eat. I found it really difficult in terms of that. Let me do my hair. I need to do my hair. I found it really difficult. I've had to utilize a lot of self-restraint, a lot of self-respect as well, because I've just been like, I'm so hungry, I could eat anything. The types of food that I've been craving have been takeaways, like food that's not very good for you. And on the odd occasion, I felt suppression, but very strong suppression, and not necessarily when I've wanted it. When I was on a date, I was having dinner. After one mouthful, I was like, I can't eat this. I can't eat this. It's just been really weird, but more often than not, I am finding myself thinking about food. Two ways to think about this. If it's not working for me, I'm going straight back to Mounjaro. Like, I've already said that that's what I'll do. But when I switched over to Wegovy, Voy sent me an email and they were like, look, it's going to be, you know, you're going to struggle the first 2 weeks. If it continues, we'll talk about upping doses. We'll figure it out for you. For me, I am willing to see if it improves, the sort of hunger pains and all of that sort of go away. I'm willing to see if it improves. I'm also willing to up my dosage and do an additional month up to 1.7. So I'm willing to do those two things. If the 1.7 does not work for me, it is straight back to Mounjaro. But I also need to remind myself that I hit my first goal weight. I am in a healthy BMI range. Really, I should be thinking about maintenance dose. I shouldn't really be trying to chase a feeling of full food suppression, because when I'm off Mounjaro, when I'm off Wegovy, when I'm off a GLP-1, I'm not going to have any suppression whatsoever. So because of that, maybe the Wegovy is a good thing for me, because obviously it is doing something for me. It is helping me feel suppressed to an extent. It's just not as strong as Mounjaro. So maybe it's the best thing for me. If I start to really struggle, I know I'm going to want to do Mounjaro. I don't want to do Mounjaro for the rest of my life because I will go bankrupt because it is too expensive. It's like a double-edged sword, I feel like. For me, I was a very strong responder to Mounjaro, and Wegovy just isn't as effective for me. I definitely see stories online of Wegovy being perfect for people, but for me, it's not been good enough. And if I was at the start of my journey, it would be a different story. But because I'm towards the end of my journey, I am satisfied to really give it my best shot. And if hunger pains come in, probably an 80% hunger pain or 80% thinking about food than what I would have without it. So it's okay. So a couple of weeks ago, I told you that I was going to share something with you, and I wanted to share with you my experience with Slimming World. And obviously, I did Slimming World I say obviously, I've told you before, I did Slimming World like a while. I got like a couple of awards, like I got Slimmer of the Week a couple weeks, I got stickers and badges and all sorts of stuff. I want to share with you how it went for me and why it didn't work for me. And I think, you know, I've seen people be very successful with Slimming World. In the past, I've been successful with Weight Watchers and then put the weight back on and stuff like that. But this was the first time I was trying Slimming World. I'll be really honest with you, I did it for 2 months. So I started on the 30th of October last year. So we're coming up to nearly a year since I really earnestly took my weight loss into consideration. So my first weigh-in was 21 stone, 2.5 pounds, 296 pounds or 134 kilos. I know that I told myself I had to lose 2 stone before I joined Weight Watchers because the thought of being 23 stone and walking into that village hall was terrifying to me. So I know I had lost weight previous to that. So let me show you. So like the first week in November, I weighed in at 20 stone 9.5. I lost 7 pounds and I think that was all just water weight, just taking like a diet serious. And then the week after I maintained. The week after that I lost 4 pounds. The week after that I maintained. Just see what I mean? Like I didn't know what I was doing. Like lose a load of weight and as a sort of treat to treat myself, I'd sort of eat normal again and then I'd maintain my weight and then I go, oh no, that feels horrible. All of that hard work I'm going to lose. Let me lose a ton more weight and like, you know, torture myself by not eating. And the cycle would go on and on and on. The week after that, I gained 2.5 pounds. Then I had a stomach flu the week after and I lost 8.5 pounds. And this was the reason why I left. And I don't think this is a Slimming World thing. I think this is my, what do they call them? Like just the lady who does it, consultant? I think it is her. She was like, oh, how did you lose 8.5 stone? Because I'd have, you know, if you think about it, at that point, I've barely lost any weight. And I was like, oh, I had a stomach flu. I'd just been throwing up for 3 days. I've been feeling really horrible. And she said, well done. And I was like, I ain't coming back here. But I did 3 more weeks. So yeah, at that point, I lost 1 stone. Then the week after, I gained 5 pounds in a week. Like, what was I doing? And then the week after that, I lost 2 pounds. So all in all, in 2 months, I lost 1 stone. So if you look at it like that, I lost 14 pounds in 2 months. If you look at it like that, that's not horrendous. I'd be okay with that at this point, but considering how big I was, I just wanted more direction. I did not like the plan. I did not like the food basically boiled down to free food and food with sins. I think the connotation of sins, and I know they say it is to do with synchronicity, but the fact that they have to qualify it and you're calling food sins was just never good. It was not complex, but it was also like, basically, I can eat as much potato as I like. To tell me that is not good. You can't take the reins off with me. Do you know what I mean? Didn't get on with it. I didn't get on with the group. Like, I liked the group. There was a lady I sat next to all the time. She was lovely. But like, talking about her, she was like in her 60s, still going to groups, still struggling with her weight. And I was like, I can't be a 60-year-old still doing this. I need to figure this out for myself. And then I found the gym. Then, you know, things started to really kick off. Then I found Mounjaro and, you know, it has been life-changing for me. And I use that expression. I don't use it lightly. Mounjaro has been truly life-changing for me. That is kind of, you know, a very, very small section of my journey with weight loss. This was a good starting point, but Slimming World just, it's not the one for me. But again, I've seen people be incredibly successful with it. And I also see people doing Mounjaro and Slimming World, and it's really powerful for them. So it just didn't work for me. We're here to talk about how the week went for me. So this is my first week with Wegovy, and I was hoping for a 1 pound weight loss. I'm hoping for a 1 pound weight loss every week until I get to goal weight. Let's talk about this. And just for a bit of context, I am a 6'2" man. So weights might sound a little high, but they are definitely in the realms of normality. So last week when I weighed in and told you my weight, I was 13 stone 11, which is 193 pounds or 87.5 kilos. And when I weighed in this morning, I was 13 stone 10, which is 192 pounds or 87 kilos, which means last week I did lose 1 pound or half a kilo. Over the moon with that, like literally over the moon with that, because I have really struggled this week, and it has been a struggle with food noise. It's been a struggle with my tendency to binge eat, and I've felt more hungry and I've thought about food more. If I can still have those thoughts in my head, because they're only going to go away if I'm on Mounjaro, and I can't be on it forever. I need to learn to live with those and deal with those. If I can still lose weight and battle those, I'm onto a winner. I'm onto a winner. And you never know, the Wegovy, like voice say, might kick in a week or so. So we'll soon find out. So as a reminder, when I started GLP-1s, so when I started Mounjaro or Wegovy or whatever I'm on at the moment, I was 19 stone 8. So that's where I got down to in the intermediate time. So when I left, let's talk about that actually. When I left Slimming World, I was 20 stone 2.5, and then I got to 19 stone 8. So that was like the intermediate period where I was still doing gym, still doing little bits, yeah. But I got down to 19 stone 8, which is 274 pounds or 124 kilos, which means as of this morning's weigh-in, I have lost with GLP-1s 82 pounds or 37 kilos. That's a lot, and I'm really, really pleased about that. However, if we take the numbers from when I started Slimming World, I was 21 stone 2, which is 296 pounds or 134 kilos. I have lost 7 stone 6, which is 104 pounds or 47 kilos. What day did I start Slimming World? I've already told you this, but I started Slimming World on the 30th of October, so the day before Halloween, right? In a year, I've lost 104 pounds. That is actually crazy, isn't it? Moving on, my goal weight, because we moved the benchmark, is 12 stone 6, which is 174 pounds or 79 kilos. So that means to go, left to lose, I have 18 pounds or 8 kilos. I feel like when we talk about goal weight, 12 stone 6 is my like ideal benchmark of where I'd like to be, but I'm quite happy with like a 5 pound up or down tolerance of that. So I think as long as it's 12 stone something, I will be happy. But I do want to actually get to that actual number, but I know that weight fluctuates, and as long as I'm 12 stone something, I don't want to go to 11 stone or still be 13 stone. I want to be 12 stone something, which, you know, in the 170s in terms of pounds, and in the sort of late 70s, early 80s in terms of kilos. That's where I'm happy. A BMI update, I am now 24.7, and I have lost 29.8% of my body weight. So that is crazy. What am I looking forward to next week? So I'm hoping to lose a pound, and if I lose 2, wicked. But especially how I've been feeling recently with food, I am battling temptation more. My mindset going into it is this Wegovy's not working, but I need to shift that mindset into Wegovy's working a little bit for me, right? It's working, it's obviously working a little bit for me because I'm not completely alone. I have suppression some of the time, right? So when times are tough, I need to learn better coping mechanisms to deal with food noise, to deal with sudden hunger out of nowhere, and to deal with it, because I'm going to have this for the rest of my life. Do you know what I mean? But I can't be on a GLP-1 for the rest of my life because I will go bankrupt. I hope you enjoyed this week's update. I will see you next week for another update. Hopefully it is to say that I've lost another pound, and hopefully we're not falling into the traps of gaining weight like we did with Slimming World. I'm going to go. I will see you again soon. Please let me know your experiences with Wegovy if you started it, and I will see you in the next one.